So, hi friends, welcome back to your channel. In this channel, we try to solve the previous year's physics question papers of the NEET undergraduate exam, which is held in India. But this will also be helpful for those students who are appearing for the JEE mains, which caters to the engineering stream, as these are all NCERT related questions. We have made all attempts to solve this in a very easy manner so that you can easily understand the concepts and you will be able to follow it going forward. We have tried our best to solve the different types of questions which have appeared in the earlier question papers so that you do not miss any important type of question. We hope you are able to follow the solution easily. If you still have doubts, then please feel free to drop in your comments in the comment section and we will try to revert to you at the earliest possible. So without much ado, let's get into solving the problems. So the first question is, a particle moving with velocity is acted by these forces shown in the vector triangle ABC. How will the velocity of the particle change? So if you look at this, right, so this is the triangle given to us. Okay. So this is a triangle given to us with A, B, C, right? And there are three vectors given to us, which is like this one, and this one. So these are all three vectors, right? So before I go there, right, let me just give you a brief about the vector addition. How do we do the vector addition? So imagine that you have, imagine that you have a vector like this, and there is a vector like this also, right? Correct. So when you add these vectors, this will result in a vector like this, right? I think you must be knowing that in our previous vector session, if you add these two vectors, that vector A and vector B, the resultant vector will be in this direction from the starting point here. So this starting point and this ending point. So the resultant vector will be R, right? And this will be in this direction. So we can say that A plus B is equal to R, right? Right. Also, if you look at this, this is a right angle triangle. There is a right angle triangle here, right? So, if you look at the resultant of this, which will be the hypotenuse of this, right? So this BC square, so BC square plus AB square has to be equal to the resultant square, which is CA square. Okay, so in this case, what is happening? The resultant is in this direction, and the third vector, which is coming here, which is in this direction, which is opposite direction, right? So this R, this particular vector, and this one, this AC, this gets cancelled because R is in this direction, and whereas the AC is in this direction, right? AC in this direction, R in this direction, so they get cancelled out, right? So it means there is no resultant force on this body which is acting, right? So if the body is like this, right? So you have this vector here, which is BC is showing here, BC, right? Then we have this vector, and we have this vector, right? Here AC, right? BC, and this is AB, right? So you can see here that there is no resultant vector, there will be no resultant vector on this, no resultant force on this. So the net force on the body is equal to 0, right? So in that case, if there is no velocity, if there is no force on this body, then there will be no velocity. So there will be no movement, right? No velocity, because there is no net force on the body. So in this case, the answer is given to us that how will the velocity of the particle change? It'll increase, no, it'll decrease, no, it'll remain constant, right? Why it remain constant? As I explained to you, because there is no net force acting on the body. Okay, I hope that is clear to you, right? Now let's move to the next problem now. Three forces acting on a body are shown in the figure. So there are three forces acting on this body. To have the resultant force only in the y direction, what is the magnitude of the minimum additional force required? Okay. So if you just break this up, so we have, for example, three forces, right? So imagine that this is x-axis and this is the y-axis. Okay. This is the force here given to us, which is 2 Newton. So this is 60 degrees, right? And this is another force is given to us, which is at 30 degrees here. And this is 8 newtons. And the other force is given to us is that is same direction as this, which is equal to 4 newtons. So this is the same thing, right? So if this is 30 degrees, then this will also be 30 degrees. And this will be 60 degrees, right? Okay. So now let's look at if we want to have the resultant force only in the y direction, right? We do not want to have x direction force as a resultant force. So what are the force in the x direction, right? So one is because of this component. So this component was 2 newtons acting in the horizontal direction. What will that be? It will be 2 cos 60. Okay. Now what about the 4 newtons? What will be the horizontal force in this direction? In this direction, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, right? What will be the force in this direction? Which is 4 cos 60. 4 cos 60. Okay. And what will be this this in this direction? This will be 8. This will be 60 degrees, right? So this is 8 cos 60. Okay. So now this is in the opposite direction. So the opposite x direction. So this will be negative. So this will be minus 8 cos 60 degrees, right? So 2 cos 60 plus 4. So you know cos 60 is equal to half. So this is equal to 2 into half is equal to 1. This is 4 6 cos 60 is equal to 4 into half is equal to 2. And 8 cos 60 is equal to 8 into half. This is equal to minus 8 into half is equal to minus 4. Okay. So this is minus 4, right? So 1 plus 2 minus 4. So it becomes 1 plus 2 minus 4. So this is the resultant force in the x direction is minus 1. Okay. So as per the question, we should have force only in the y direction. So in x direction, there should not be any force at all. Okay. So in that case, what will be the force required to nullify this? So we need additional force required is equal to 1 Newton. So if it's 1 Newton, then 1 plus minus 1 will be equal to 0. Okay. So that is why we arrived at 1 Newton. So the answer is B, which is 1 Newton. Okay. Let's go to the third question now. The mass of a lift is 2500 kg. When the tension in the supporting cable is 30,000 newtons, then what is the acceleration of the lift? So imagine that this is the lift here. This is the lift. Okay. And this is being pulled by a rope. As you know, like the lift is gets pulled by a rope, right? Which is giving a tension of 30,000 Newton. Okay. This is the tension on the rope which is pulling the lift. This is the lift here. This is the lift. Okay. What is the mass of the lift? Mass is equal to 2500 kg. Mass is equal to 2500 kgs. right? And you know gravitational force will act downwards, right? So what will be the gravitational force is equal to mg is equal to 2500 into 10 is equal to 25,000, okay, Newton, right? So now let's see, now this tension on the rope is actually pulling this gravitational force of the lift, right? So it means force, if I'm talking of this particular force, or you can call it tension also. Let me just modify this. Yeah, so we can call it tension also. So tension, this is a tension on the rope, right, which is pulling. So T minus the gravitational force is equal to the net acceleration of the entire lift, right? So the acceleration of the entire lift is equal to mass of the lift into the acceleration of the lift. Now T is given to be 30,000 minus mg we just computed is 25,000. This is equal to mass into acceleration. So mass, we know the mass is equal to 2500 kgs into the acceleration, okay? So it means acceleration equal to, this will be 30,000 minus 25,000 is equal to 5,000 divided by 2,500. This is equal to 2. Now, since this is 2 meters per second square, right? Now, since the motion is happening, so the net tension which is there, it is more than the gravitational force, which is 25,000. So obviously the movement will happen in the upward direction. So that is why the acceleration will be 2 meters per second square upwards here. So this will be the answer. Let's go to the next question now. Right? A person of mass 50 kgs inside a lift of 950 kgs, right? So imagine that this is a lift here. This is the lift. Okay. And there's a person inside the lift here. Okay. The person inside the lift of, so his weight is 50 kgs. Of weight of 50 kgs. Okay, given that g is equal to 10 meters per second square, so his force, gravitational force of this person is equal to 50 into 10 is equal to 500 Newton. Correct? I hope you understand this. Next is the mass of the lift is 950 kgs. 950 kgs, right? So what is the weight of this? In newtons is 950 into 10 is equal to 9500. So now this entire weight of these two things, which is the person as well as the lift, will actually pull it down, right? So if it pulls it down, it will become 9500 plus 500 is equal to 10,000 newtons. So 10,000 newtons is the force downwards. Okay, now what about this tension in the rope? So there's a rope here, right? So there's tension in the rope, right? Tension. There's tension in the rope here. Okay, and this is moving at the rate of 2 meters per second square. Since this is moving upwards, so it means the tension is obviously more. That is why it's able to pull it, right? So we can say, just based on the previous question also, T minus this entire weight, 10,000, right? 10,000 is equal to weight of the entire system. So weight of the entire system, what is it? The weight of the person plus the weight of the lift, which is equal to 1,000, into the acceleration, which is upwards, right? Which is 2, is equal to 2,000. So it means T is equal to 10,000 plus 2,000 is equal to 12,000. So 12,000 Newton, right? So T is equal to 12,000 Newton, which will be the tension in the rope, right? This is T is equal to 12,000. Okay. So the answer is 12,000, which is answer C. Okay. Let's go to the next question now. A monkey of mass 25 kgs is holding a vertical rope. Now you can see here that in this diagram here, the monkey is holding the rope. The monkey, there's a monkey given here, which is actually holding the vertical rope. The rope will not break as long as the mass of 40 kg is suspended from it, but it will break if the mass exceeds 40 kgs. So in this case, what is the maximum? So it means that it says that it can withstand, so maximum tension possible in the rope, so maximum tension which can be taken by the rope is equal to 40 kgs into 10, right? It says it can withstand a maximum 40 kgs maximum, right? It's mentioned here, into 10 is the gravity, right? So the 400 newtons. Okay, so this is the maximum tension which can be taken up by the rope. Okay, so in this case, what happens is that 400. So this is a tension. So if this is a rope here, if this is a rope, and if this is a monkey which is trying to go up the rope here, right? The monkey is going up the rope, 400 minus the gravity of the monkey, right, which is minus mg, is equal to m a, which is the net acceleration upwards. Okay, so it means 400 is equal to m g plus a, right? So this is equal to m, this is equal to or rather, one second, I don't require this, right? We did do this. Sorry. Okay, we write it down once again. Yeah, so 400 is equal to mg plus ma. Okay, so mg is equal to the mass of the monkey into the gravity, which is 250, right? It is 250 into 10 plus mass is 25 into a. Okay, it's 400. Sorry, it's 400 equal to 50 plus this thing, right? So this becomes 400 minus 250 is equal to 25a. It means so it means 150 is equal to 25a. It means a is equal to 150 by 25 is equal to 6 meters per second square. This will be the answer. Okay, so the answer is C here. We'll go right here. Okay, now so we'll conclude the video here. For the next set of questions, that from 6 to 11, we'll solve it in the next video. If you have any doubts, please let us know, and we request you or urge you to subscribe to this channel so that you will get to see similar problems which will help you for the NEET exam. Okay, so please subscribe to the channel and please come back to this channel if you have any requirements. Thank you.